world where smartwatches are becoming common and even more common as the days progress, as people are starting to get on the smartwatch wave as they think it's getting more important in their lives. Well, it can cost a pretty penny sometimes, and not everybody wants to shell out those $400, $500 price tags for the flagship smartwatches. Enter in the Apple Watch SE and the Fitbit Versa 3, Apple's and Fitbit's respectively, mid-range options, and these are meant to give you almost all of those amazing flagship features from those models, but for a cheaper price by cutting a few corners. What's going on, guys? 24/7 Tech here. In this video, we're going to be comparing both of those smartwatches because most people only use one smartwatch on their wrist. So we want to help you guys find out which one you should buy. Is it the Apple Watch SE or the Fitbit Versa 3? But before we go further on in this video, feel free to subscribe down below. I create awesome tech videos for you guys, and if you want more tech content like this one, make sure to subscribe. But for now, let's get on with the video. Let's start things off with health features, as health is a really vital and important part of smartwatches in general, and especially with these two smartwatches. So first of all, let's talk about the Apple Watch SE. So it has fall detection, which is really useful for the older population, in where if you take a hard fall, it will notify emergency contacts and emergency services, so you can get the help that you need right away. So the thing is that both of these smartwatches do have the basic health features like tracking your heart rate, and they also even have a health portion in their app, in the Fitbit app or the Apple Watch app. So they have those basic features, but in 2020, smartwatches are gravitating towards really cool high technology health features, and that's where both of these smartwatches go at it against each other. Apple Watch SE also has sleep tracking. They introduced it with the new watchOS update. It's not really new with this new hardware. It's more of a software thing that Apple added. But Fitbit Versa 3 still gets the cake here, because the sleep tracking on the Fitbit Versa 3 is much more insightful. It gives you a sleep score, which is almost like a representation on how well you slept the night before. And it's not like the score is going to tell you everything about your sleep, but it's a good summary. You know, if it's out of 100, so 76, 84, 92, as you grow, even though it's not like the most insightful thing, it's going to give you a good representation on how your sleep is improving over time, or is it decreasing over time. It also gives you insights, exactly how long you slept for, and how interrupted your sleep was as well. The Fitbit Versa 3 also gets skin temperature tracking, so especially in this pandemic, it's always nice to have a skin temperature. You can track your temperature, and it's great. Especially, as I said, in this COVID-19 pandemic. It also got an oxygen sensor, so it can detect your levels of oxygen, and if it drops, well below what it should be, you can go to a doctor or take maybe a more official oxygen test. And none of these are going to be super accurate like an actual hospital's machines, but they do give you good insight on whether or not, if something's wrong, if something's going right, and it's just a good kind of ballpark measure, and it's better to be safe than sorry. Both of these do not have an ECG though, I just wanted to mention that, but Fitbit does get the edge here with the Versa 3. They've always been more health inclined. Apple has been working their way up the ladder recently, they've been prioritizing it much more, but the Versa 3 still reigns over here. Now let's talk about the Apple Watch SE's advantages. What does it have over the Fitbit Versa 3 that it's, compelling to make you buy? The first thing, and the undoubted thing, is the design. It's got an amazing design. They've kept it since the 2018 Apple Watch Series 4, and it's still amazing. It's got curved corners, a nice rectangular display. It's really thin. It's got a nice flush button on the side of it. And then you've got also the normal circle dial that you have. But this design has been amazing, and I think it's the best on any smartwatch that I've ever seen to this day. And it's because it still is really modern. It's got the bezels are really thin as well when you turn on the display now. And they've just carried over everything amazing on that Series 4 and now finally put it into a less expensive price tag pretty much. And the design is definitely better than the Fitbit Versa 3. However, the largest part for me over the Versa 3 is that the app situation. So first of all, there are so many more apps simply supported on the Apple Watch than there are on the Fitbit Versa 3. When I was using my Fitbit Versa 3 in testing, there were pretty much no apps that I use except Spotify, I'm pretty sure. But on the Apple Watch, there's just so many things that you can do. You can check your stocks, you can check your weather, you can check notifications, you can text people, you can call people, you can look at your photos if that's what you want to do. There's so many different things that you can do. And it even saves time, to be honest, because if I want to look at how my portfolio is doing on Robinhood or, whatever stock trading app that you do, I can go to the app on my smartwatch, look at it, go away, and do whatever I want to do instead of taking out my phone, logging in, and then checking over there. And when you open your phone, you slowly gravitate to do other things, and you can save so much more time by just opening it up on your smartwatch. And even though some people don't think that the apps are really beneficial, for me at least, they're pretty cool. The Apple Watch also has better software and hardware. The processor inside of the Apple Watch is much better. It is the same as you find on the Apple Watch Series 5, and it will last you forever. I mean, the Apple Watches from 2016 and 17 are really still snappy, and it's also due to those watchOS upgrades because they have new features on and on and on. And last year we got the walkie-talkie feature, this year we got sleep tracking, so you're always going to be more advanced and you're going to get some of the more later features through that watchOS update. And in recent years they've been actually making good progress with these watchOS updates, and I'm definitely a fan of that. The processing and the software is far superior on the Apple Watch over the Fitbit, and it makes sense. I mean, Apple's been in this business forever with the iPhone, the Mac, the iPad. They've had so many devices that they've perfected this on the Apple Watch. You can also take calls on the Apple Watch and respond to text on the watch itself, which is really useful, and it's something that, you know, you'd think every smartwatch should have, but the Apple Watch is one of the few that do. And the Apple Watch will also sync much more seamlessly with their Apple devices, and this is kind of obvious. You know, Apple has been always the best at integrating between their iPhone, the Apple Watch, iPad, Mac, so many different things. And fun fact, you can actually log on to your Mac using your Apple Watch if it's on you and text it. So it's absolutely amazing what you can do and what Apple does with that integration. There's also an LTE option, which is pretty much if you want to go hands-free without your phone. So if you're outside taking a run, you can use your Apple Watch to call people or to receive calls, and you can do everything on here because it's almost like you have a mini phone on here, literally. Like you have that calling ability. So those are the few things that the Apple Watch has over the Versa 3. Let's talk about the advantages that the Fitbit Versa 3 has over the Apple Watch, and this list is much shorter than the last one you guys just heard. Aside from the health features, it's not like this Versa 3 appeals in any major way over the Apple Watch SE. So the first thing and the biggest thing for me is that the battery life. The battery life is actually so good on this Fitbit Versa 3, it might really be the reason to buy it. I wouldn't go that far, I guess, but the battery life is honestly amazing. It's got around a week of battery life, and when I was putting it through heavy tests, I mean, like, you know, going through all the fitness features, the health features, all of that stuff, and then putting it through all that load, it only burnt 18% of battery on one day, and I bet that not everybody every single day goes through all the things that I did while testing that Fitbit Versa 3. It's just an amazing battery life, and Fitbit has been knocking the park out of the battery life with the Versa 1, the 2, the 3, and the Fitbit Sense. So it's, as usual, amazing. The design is also square, and if you're a fan of square designs, this could be the one for you. In my opinion, after actually wearing it, I don't like it. It's really bulky, and I like the rectangular design on the Apple Watch. And as you can see with the clips that I'm showing you guys, it's just, I don't know, it's not as good for me. Comment down below which one you guys prefer. For me, it's undoubtedly the rectangular design. The square is just really bulky. And after using it, you can definitely feel it as well. So what about the prices of these smartwatches? Apple touts that the Watch SE is kind of the mid-range smartwatch, which gets you the most for the least, technically. It starts at $279 though, which is still kind of expensive, but it is cheaper than the $400 Series 6. If you want the 44mm option, it's going to cost you $30 extra, $309. If you want cellular, you can add another $50 onto that price tag. So if you want a 44mm Apple Watch with cellular, with the basic band, like no extra upgrades with the band, it's going to be $359, which is literally $40 cheaper than the Series 6. So at that point, you might be looking at the Series 6 because it's just getting really expensive. All these upgrades kind of tack on the price. The Fitbit Versa 3, however, is a one price and also one size fits all approach. It's $229. They give you a small, medium, and a medium large band, but the actual frame of the watch is the same throughout every single model. So whichever one you buy, it's going to be at max $229. And actually, that's the only model, my bad. It's only going to be $229. So you're going to be saving quite a bit of money by buying the Versa 3 compared to any model of the Apple Watch SE. But let's compare the base model to the base model, so 40mm versus the normal Versa 3. It's a $50 upgrade, and it's up to you guys if you think that is worth it or not. However, I will be telling you if I think it's worth it or not. So I'm going to actually be starting off this verdict section with the phone that you have. So let's say you have an Android phone. The Versa 3 is kind of the only option between these two. The Apple Watch only works with iPhones. I would actually be looking at the Samsung Galaxy Watch lineup if you have a Samsung smartphone, because again, integration, company to company, it's just, when you have the same company making two devices, it's always better for software. There's so much more integration that can happen, and it's always better because the company knows the product that you're literally connecting to. However, if you have any other Android phone, you might be, it's a toss-up between the Fitbits and the Galaxy Watches for me. Go watch my older videos comparing the Versa 3 to the Galaxy Watches, because that goes more in depth about that. But if you have an iPhone, I'd say it's easy. The option is the Apple Watch SE. Problem comes where, you want to spec it up a bit, and you're looking at $360 for the smartwatch, and that's where it's like, okay, that's way too expensive. If you think that the price tag is a little much, though, I think these things come on deals sometimes during the holiday seasons and all of that stuff, but not too much. The Versa 3, on the other hand, you can literally find this stuff for $150. Keep your eye peeled on the Versa 3. If you can find this for, like, let's say $150 to $170, I'd say it's an easy steal, and it's an easy buy as well, because that's an amazing price for what this thing offers. The one thing, it's just one major thing for me between these two, and that's the apps. The health features, the Versa 3 is even better at, but the app situation is just not there for me yet with the Versa 3. I would really like for it to be, because if it did, it's going to be for an amazing, killer smartwatch. But for now, the Apple Watch SE is just the simple, just better smartwatch. It gets the tried and true formula. It's got the same design, same app system, pretty much same everything as its older brothers, nothing new. But it's just got that amazing Apple Watch feel, the Apple Watch experience, and it's still the best smartwatch. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe down below. I have other awesome videos coming up soon, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya!